Om Bang me manasi pratisthita Mano me vachi pratishtitam Avir avir maidhi Vedassa na anishtaha Shutang me ma prahasihi Anenadhi tena huratran Sandadhami Ritang vadishyami Satyang vadishyami Tanmam abatu tadbhaktaram abatu Abatu mam Abatu bhaktaram Abatu bhaktaram Om Shanti 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 Om. May my speech be fixed in the mind. May my mind be established in my speech. O self-manifested Atman, do thou manifest thyself unto me. O my mind and speech, may ye be fit to reveal to me the supreme knowledge. May I not forget what I have heard. Without forgetting that, what have I learned? May I be able to study day and night. The right will I speak, the truth will I speak. May Brahman protect me, may Brahman protect the preceptor, the teacher. Om, peace, peace, peace be unto us all. Om. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Today, our topic is Vedas, the perennial source of joy. Actually, Vedas, as you know, the oldest scripture of the world, these are not man-made some speculations, but they're the revelation of the sages, the saints who have experienced. This is the story of their experiences noted down in one place. Not in one place, but Vyasa, Bhagavan Vyasa, he collected them together and developed what we get in the form of the Vedas. But the main purport of Vedas are all the Vedas speaking about Ananda. We know Ananda, we know Sukha means happiness, Dukkha is suffering. We know these two terms. But there is something called Ananda, is a special term in the Vedantic text, which means it is neither Sukha, neither Dukkha, but it is something more profound. It's called Ananda. Ananda, less Ananda, we call Dukkha, suffering. When the Ananda, the expected Ananda, I want this level of Ananda, I get little less, I call it Dukkha. When I get little more, I feel it is Sukha. But in Sukha and Dukkha, both Ananda is the perennial support of both. And this Ananda is our very personality, our very being. We are Ananda. But we live in Dukkha, we live in suffering, we live in misery, we live in death. We live in our disease and all bereavements. But this is not we. We are Ananda, Ananda, Ananda Keval. Swami Vivekananda, in his beautiful poem, he said, Ananda. Ananda is the foundation. Ananda, Ananda, Ananda Keval. Only Ananda, Ananda and Ananda. Say Ananda to me, O he Brahmavar. That Ananda is thou art that Ananda. But how miserably we live. in our life, all through the life, searching for Ananda. But we are Ananda, where to search for? That same example, as the deers run hundreds of miles in search of the fragrance which comes out, searching where to get it, where to get it. It runs hundreds of miles. But it is coming from his own pouch, which is here inside. So we are carrying that Ananda. And to reach that Ananda is the purpose of life. To be aware of that Ananda is the purpose of life. But who will help us? It is the Vedas, it is the Upanishads, the crowning end of all the Vedic wisdom leading to that Vedas Ananda. So we find in the Upanishads, it is replete with the ideas of Ananda, Ananda, Ananda. The Taittiriya Upanishad says, Ananda Atma Brahma Puchchang Pratishtha. Ananda is the Atma. The self is Ananda. Brahma Puchcham, the Brahman is the, what you call the tail. And it is established on that. That means it is established. Entire life, entire existence is established on that Ananda. Brihadaranyaka Upanishad says, Ananda iti ena tupashita. You worship. Wherever you find Ananda, that is Brahman, that is yourself. Worship. And we all worship that, consciously or unconsciously. Where there is a touch of little bit of Ananda, we all run for that. Through the senses of the five senses, through our mind, through our emotions, through our intellectual understanding. Ananda, we are searching for Ananda, Ananda, Ananda. And that's why Tejobindu Upanishad says, Ananda ghana eva aham, aham brahmasmi kevalam. I am only that Brahman, and I am that Brahman means I am that Ananda. Ananda, not Ananda, Ananda ghana. Ghana means condensed Ananda. There is nothing but that absolute bliss, absolute unfailing joy, which is limitless, beginningless, endless. Anandatvat nami dukkham, ajnanad bhati satyavat. Another Upanishad talks about Anandat no me anandatvat, because I am Ananda, because I am of the nature of this bliss, eternal, no me dukkham. There is no dukkha, there is no suffering for me. Aham brahmasmi kevalam. I am that Brahman, that absolute, that infinite. Only that I am. Ananda bhukcheta mukha pragga. In the state of when a person moves into the realm of spiritual enlightenment, goes from the gross to the subtle to the causal, and that end part, where he is going to merge into the absolute Brahman, this is called the mukha, or the bhava mukha, as Ramakrishna used to live in that bhava mukha state. And that mukha, that face, is turned towards that Ananda. That is the implication here. Ananda bhuk, in the state of our deep sleep, every day we go. When we go to deep sleep, there we feel Ananda. Why do we feel Ananda? Because our mukha, our face, is turned towards that Ananda which is inside. Only there is a separation. That is the ignorance, is the separation. And the Jnani, when he knows that ignorance, that veil becomes lighter and cleaner like a transparent glass, then you see the Ananda, play of Ananda. Ramakrishna used to live in that plane of Ananda. That's why the whole world was full of Ananda for him. That is the essential nature of our three bodies, gross body, subtle body, and causal body, behind that Ananda. Ananda is the foundation of our life. Ananda, in that Ananda, we only swim in that Ananda, but we do not know. We cry in that Ananda, we enjoy in that Ananda, but not knowing that is our very source of all reality. Anandam etad jivasya jaggatma muchyate buddhaha. Anandam etad jivasya. This Ananda is for this jiva, for this individual. I am quoting almost, I tried to find that Ananda word in different Upanishads, and it is maybe about 100 you can find reference, and more are there. But see, it is all indicating the purpose of life is to reach that Ananda, to stay in that Ananda, to feel that Ananda, to be established in that Ananda, experience that Ananda. And that is the Upanishad is again and again hitting us. That is called the, but it is not Vedas, true. It is not the total Veda. Veda has another part also, we will talk about that. What is Karma Kanda, Jnana Kanda? We are talking about the end of Jnana Kanda, the Upanishads. And the Upanishads are replete with this statement of the Ananda, the message of Ananda. Anandam etat jivasya. Etat Anandam, this Ananda, it belongs to each individual personality. And Jaggatma Muchyate, by performing, here is a connecting between Karma Kanda and Jnana Kanda. Muchyate buddhaha, those who are intelligent people, those who are men of wisdom, through karma, performing the karma and jagna, and gradually developing that spirit, they transcend that and they make themselves free from all bondage. Jaggatma muchyate buddha. Ananda rupam amritam jad vibhati tat pashyanti. Wherever you find it is only Ananda. Ananda rupam. Everywhere, any form you see, it is only expressing, Ananda is expressing. Jad vibhati. That tat pashyanti. Who sees that? Not we cannot see. Because of our ignorance, because of our dirt in the mind. Our karma has cleaned the dirty mind. And because of that we are not seeing. But tat pashyanti, that is being experienced by seeing means experiencing, not seeing with the eyes. This eye cannot see that. This ear cannot hear that. But it can be experienced, and that is experienced by the Buddha, the men of wisdom. Anandatyeva khalu imani bhutani jayante anandena jatani jivanti anandam prayanti abhisangvishanti iti. Taittiriya Upanishad says that anandatyeva imani khalu imani bhutani jayante. All this universe, look at anything created in the universe, it is out of the bounty of joy and blessings. Fulfillment, inner joy, inner peace, that Ananda. Everything is pulsating in Ananda. Its origin is Ananda. And it stands on Ananda. And it ends in Ananda. These are to be understood. If we look at our life, we'll ridicule at this word. This is gone crazy, no? We live in suffering. We are born in suffering. And we die in suffering. And he's saying, no, it's all Ananda. It's a fantasy of the mind or what? Yes, look at that. If we analyze our life, every creation comes out of Ananda. The artist paints something, it comes up with spontaneous Ananda, and he finds satisfaction there. A poet writes some poem, a writer writes some book, a scientist finding out something, discovering something. It is all, there is the Ananda. Any animal, any being born out of Ananda. The very foundation of that is Ananda. And then we are not in Ananda, we don't understand. But we are all seeking for Ananda. What else we want in life? Why we are here? Why we go to school for learning? For Ananda. I will earn good money. I will get a good position. I will have a good house. I'll have the Ananda, I'll get Ananda. That's my goal of life, is to get that Ananda. How to grab it, we do not know. We search here and there and try to find out. But Ananda is the ultimate thing. That's a different thing. How to get it is not the point. But yes, today, point is that Vedas are the perennial source of Ananda, is our subject. So we have to think about what the Vedas are trying to, again and again, reminding us that Ananda is your source, is your very being. You are Ananda. Hit that ground and dive deep into that and feel how this life is in search of Ananda, or occasional little happiness we call. That's also a trace, expression of that Ananda. And when you die, we all expect, oh, this life was miserable. I'll be happy next life. I'll be born in heaven. I will be like this. I will be like that. All the expectation, what we are doing in the search of Ananda. Ananda is the all where it is all. Underlying truth is Ananda. The perennial support of everything is Ananda. That's why Upanishad Taittiriya says, Anandat eva khulu imani bhutani jayanti. Not the human being, imani bhutani. Anything in this creation, birds, animals, reptiles, the trees, plants, sun, moon, stars, human, subhuman, everything is springing from Ananda. And Anandeno jatani jivanti is residing in Ananda, in bliss. And Anandang prayanti, and it's ending in Ananda, or expectation of Ananda. This life is gone, next life I will be like this. This life I could not go and get my PhD, next life I will be born with absolute talent, that I will get it in the next life. This life I could not be rich, I will be starting from next life. So always expecting something that it will give me joy and bliss. So Ananda, we live in Ananda, we die in Ananda, we are born out of Ananda. So that is the Upanishadic says. And what happens? The Taittiriya Upanishad again goes on saying, Anandang brahmana vidwan na bibheti kadachana. You get Ananda. If you once reach that Ananda, you become person of wisdom, vidwan. And when you become that, na bibheti kadachana. You don't fear. Fear leaves you. You conquer fear. You conquer death. There is no fear, fearlessness. Abhayam vai pratishtha, pratisthita. Abhayam, abhaya is the fearless state. That state cannot be attained in any other way without reaching that our foundation of our life, that Ananda. When we reach our Ananda state, who will fear whom? And if the whole world is permeated with Ananda, then who is there to do any harm to me? And that Ananda will be expressed even while living in the body. While living in the body, this holy man in the Himalayas have nothing in his possession, and resting on a rock, sunbathing. And that Emperor Alexander went and asked him to come to be honored in his palace. He will keep him with honor. But he said, why are you disturbing me? I'm happy here. Get out of my way. And when the Alexander then took out the sword and said, no, I can kill you. You are insulting me. Then what he said? You kill me, the sun cannot dry, no? The fire cannot dry, water cannot soak. I am Ananda. That is the point. Bhiviti. No fear. No fear. Fear is a matter of imagination only to a person of realization. What to fear? They know I am not this limited body. I am that infinite joy. So what to fear? Who can take away that asset? Anything in the mundane world we achieve, acquire, it can be taken away. And it is taken away. All the money billionaire may have done, at the point of death, $1 will not go with him. A person of great eminence in the world, we'll have to live back. Is all wisdom and everything in the book form, all the written books and things here itself. But Ananda, what is the essential nature, one is established into that. Who can take away that? That is the fearlessness state of fearlessness. And what in the Bhagavat, the Bhagavat ended where Shukadev asked the disciple, who? Parikshit, who has only 7 days to survive, and he was learning from Shukadev, the son of this Vyasa, who has composed these Upanishads, no? Vedas. He said, last word. Any more question? Then the king Parikshit, the student, said, no, I have no more question. And I no more fear death. Last word was, Mrityubhyo na bhivemi aham. I am not frightened of death anymore. I have conquered death. That is the state, illumined state. And that fear, death, suffering is absent in that Ananda. Anandam brahmano vidvan Satchidananda Sarupa Bhavati. Ananda, knowing does not mean intellectually, experiencing that. Vidwan, the person of wisdom, what he does? He becomes Ananda. He becomes full of bliss, and he radiates that bliss. And anyone comes in touch with that, they become Ananda. Anyone going to Ramakrishna, he becomes Ananda. He forgets his own pettiness, his own problems. Because Sri Ramakrishna is totally absorbed in that Ananda, and that Ananda is being distributed to everyone who can palpably feel that Ananda. So this is the Upanishadic statement of Ananda replete in all the Upanishads. And Upanishad is the cream of the Vedas. So now one part we understand, the Upanishad being the cream of the Upanishad or the Vedas, they are talking about our Ananda nature, our divine nature, our pure nature, which is full of joy and bliss. That we understand. But what about Karma Kanda? Vedas is a mixture of Karma Kanda and Jnana Kanda. So let me read a few lines from Swami Vivekananda, what he speaks about what is the Vedas, about the Vedas and Karma Kanda and others. The mass of writing called the Vedas, it is Swami Vivekananda, is not the utterance of persons. Its date has never been fixed. It can never be fixed. And according to us, the Vedas are eternal. And now he continues that Vedas do not owe their authority to anybody. They are themselves the authority, being eternal, the knowledge of God. They were never written, never created. They have existed throughout time, just as certain creation is infinite and eternal, without beginning and without end. So is the knowledge of God without beginning and without end. The mass of knowledge called Vedanta was discovered by person who were called Rishi. The Rishis is defined as the mantra drashta, the seer of thought. And whenever you hear that a certain passage of the Vedas come from certain Rishi, never think that he wrote it or created it out of his mind. He was the seer of the thought which already existed. It existed in the universe eternally. The sages were the discoverer. The rishis were spiritual discoverers. This is a beautiful way of speaking about the Vedas. Vedas are not books. Every religion has their books of authority. Bible, authority. Bible, Christ said, Bible. Buddha said, Dhammapad, authority. But Vedas are authority not depending on any person. Quran, it's a Muhammad. If you historically can say, oh, he didn't, he historically didn't exist, then you can say, oh, this book is also, you can deny. But this is not so. Vedas are not like that. They're the eternal truth, all the time there. Anyone at any point of time can rediscover the truth. Now we can do that here and now. That is called the spiritual discoverers, the sages. They discovered this and they experience that. They express that experience to their disciples. Even we don't know the names of the many rishis or seers of truth. They are called mantra drashta, as we have just now understood. The drashta means the seer, observer. They sees these mantras. These words are not ordinary words. In the letter of light, it appeared before in that vision, their experience. So it is called mantra drashta, and they are the discoverer. And you cannot change it because it is a truth, and that truth can be verified and verifiable. It has been verified by the spiritual people before, and that can be experienced again now, today, in our own life. So this mass of writing, that is the Vedas, is divided principally into two. Swami Vivekananda continues. One is called the Karma Kanda, another is called the Jnana Kanda. The work portion and the knowledge portion. One is the ceremonial portion, another is the spiritual portion. The work portion consists of various sacrifices, and most of them are nowadays have no bearing on it, but it has retained its existence in the society as duties. Swamiji said, the main ideas of Karma Kanda, which consists of duties of man, what is the duty of a student, of a householder, duty of a recluse, various duties of the different stations of life, are followed more or less down to the present day, but those rituals and ceremonial things are no more practiced in the society anymore. But it has been changed into modern style as a duties of people's responsibility. So this is called the Karma Kanda. That Karma Kanda people do, as we call, in modern day we will say, we do karma. Without karma no one can survive. Here the Vedas indicate that you do karma, but you do for the gods, for the divine entities. By doing that karma, you achieve your material prosperity. You attain whatever worldly way you want to succeed. Do all these things, you will get. You can go to heaven, you can be a Indra, you can be a ruler of the country by performing all these yajnas in the earlier practice. You can do that again, and by that you see afterwards that impermanence of these things. You work hard to achieve certain position, and nowadays we are doing. One student is working hard to get a good grade, good degree. Oh, that is my goal. If I get, I'll be happy. Okay. Now, after having that, then what? I'll have to get a good job. Okay, you got it. You become the CEO. Then what? Then you know, I want something more. So ultimately he understands that all these achievements through the karma which we gain are temporary. And then you search for higher. So the Vedas also, in that way, there are words mentioned to help someone to go beyond this karma, step by step, in search of joy, from petty joy to greater joy, and greater joy, and greater joy, and ultimately a state endless, beginningless, endless. That is the Ananda. We talked about that. So here, Swamiji says that this Karma Kanda is really very difficult for the present age, but keep the people engaged in some spiritual program, performing all these rituals, pleasing Devi. There are Devi Shukta, there is Sri Shukta. And you can find that Narayana Shukta. Sri Shukta, if you read that, it is talking, asking for all these Sri Shukta things they do. They're asking for what? They do the performance, but not asking for eternal bliss. Therefore asking, oh that, oh Hirannavarnang Harining Shuvarna Rajatasajam Sri Shuktam. Its translation goes on. He is invoking the fire god, Agni, and saying, oh fire, you are God. I am offering this oblation, you send it to the proper place, to higher gods and goddesses, and bring so which he can give us plenty of wealth, money, gold, jewel, cattle. Cattle was a big, rich, big, what you call, asset in those days, because agricultural condition of the people. So you have many cattle means you are a richer person, very rich person. So they are asking for, the first verse says, O Agni, the goddess Lakshmi, who shines like gold, yellow in hue, wearing gold and silver garlands, thinking Mother Lakshmi is like that, and says, O Agni, invoke for me the unfailing Lakshmi, being blessed by whom I shall win wealth, I will win cattle, horses and men. That is, I have many servants, I will be very many horses, I will have many cattle. So these are praying for worldly achievements. But they are performing the home of fire, and the Agni Devata, as if Agni Devata is a carrier to the deity whom we are praying for. We also do. In the fire, the simple rituals we do on the Ramakrishna birthday, Holy Mother birthday. So what we do? The fire is a carrier. We put some oblation and it carries to whom you are offering it. So that is the way we find that the Karma Kanda was very much essential for people who live in the world. We cannot in one stroke think of the absolute truth. So Karma Kanda is very important to go from. That's why modern day also Swami Vivekananda's Karma Yoga idea you will find. We do first selfish work, which will satisfy me only. And after doing this selfish work, we learn that selfish work does not give any joy ultimately. And then we learn to be unselfish. Unselfish karma, doing with no intention, but for the good of others, for the good benefit of others. That karma, first sakama, then niskama. And niskama karma, as we do, it purifies the mind, chitta shuddhi. The chitta means not only the mind, intellect, ego, all these live in layers. Everything is clean and clean and clean. And then what will happen? That ananda will be ready. Will be ready for this life, which is spiritual life of ananda. That mind will be ready for Vedantic understanding. Without that, Vedanta will be only an intellectual, some words only, but it will not give the touch of joy which Vedanta means, which Brahma Jnana means, what actually Vedanta teaches us. So the Karma Kanda was therefore essential. Then here comes the point. As Vedanta teaches us about absolute joy, this Karma Kanda also is for joy or for ananda. Why not? Why do you perform this fire sacrifice? Why are you performing that? Oh, I go to get this cattle, get this wealth, the gold, jewel, men, horses. I'll be rich. Everyone will be under my control. So what is that? That craving is for what? That craving is for being in joy. I'll be such a joy, more, greater joy than any other. So here is the indication that Vedas in Karma Kanda even is designed to take a soul who is totally dark in ignorance, to take that soul from the journey from the lower level of strata to the higher level of strata, and then purifying and purifying and purifying, leading him to that Ananda, which the Upanishad is declaring. So the entire Vedas, both Karma Kanda and Jnana Kanda, is tending towards the same goal of establishing us in Ananda, the divine self, divine nature of ours. So that's why the Vedas are the perennial source of Ananda. Why even people are performing Karma Kanda, they do not know, but their teacher teaches, you do this jhana, you will get this result. By performing that unselfishly, because little unselfishness should be there, you have to do much austerity for performing those jhanas. Even you see when we have our puja day, how our sister nuns and others and the volunteers work from morning without having any breakfast or anything, running for this, collecting this flour, this what you call ghee, this firewood, this material, so many materials. So it is continuously engaging themselves for some work, but forgetting about their body consciousness. So that is the gradual development happens in Karma Kanda. You forget your body consciousness, and for the moment, with hoping something extraordinary joy to get, and one goal, and reaching that goal, you find that it is insufficient. Then you fix your goal little higher, and do some more austerity and Karma Kanda activities, and then ultimately you feel that Karma Kanda cannot give liberation, because karma always is limited and its expression is also limited. So therefore, we are to lead to this Ananda, and for Ananda, Karma Kanda is designed to get Ananda in a purified way. Not stealing someone's money, not cheating someone. When you do some Karma Kanda in this spirit of the Vedic jhanas, you have to be very austere and honest and sincere. All this control system is coming, but they are leading us from that Karma Kanda level to that level of Jnana Kanda. And Jnana Kanda, climax of Jnana Kanda is the Upanishad. And they are to reach that flight where only there will be Ananda. Swami Vivekananda continues, the mass of knowledge called the Vedanta, what is that? The mass of writing, the Vedas is divided, as I have said, into two parts, Karma Kanda and Jnana Kanda, the work portion and the knowledge portion, the ceremonial portion and the spiritual portion. The work portion consists of various sacrifices. The main idea of Karma Kanda, which consists in the duties of man, duties of student, duties of the householder, of the recluse, and the various duties of the different stations of life, are even followed more or less down to the present day. But the spiritual portion of the religion is the second part, and that is called the Jnana Kanda, the Vedanta. That means Anta means the end of the Vedas, that is the gist, the goal of the Vedas. The essence of the knowledge of the Vedas was called by the name Vedanta, which comprises the Upanishads. So that is, there comes the Upanishad. The climax of all understanding ends in Advaita, or this Upanishadic. And all these sects of India, whether they may be dualist, qualified monist, or Shaivites, or Vaishnavites, or Shaktas, or Shauras, or Ganapattas, meaning some are worshipping Shiva, they are called Shaivites. Some are worshipping God as Vishnu, the Lord Vishnu, Vaishnavites. Some are Shaktas, worshipping God as Mother. Some are Shauras, worshipping Sun, the Sun God. Ganapatya, or Ganapati. And all other different, each one, that dares to come within the fold of Hinduism must acknowledge Upanishads. You have to keep Upanishad as your authentic source. Your path should tally with that Upanishadic experience. Otherwise, you are not included into the whole parameter of Hinduism. Those who don't believe in those, they can have their own interpretation. Dualists will interpret in their own way. The qualified non-dualist will interpret their own way. But you must have to accord to the ideas of the Upanishad. Upanishads are the authority. You cannot transcend your argument, whatever argument, it should be in conclusive experience should be the Upanishad. So that is the crowning glory of the Vedas, that it talks about that absolute Ananda. How you reach, what is your approach, that may be different. But you have to support, get into that interpretation. They can have their own interpretation and can interpret them in their own way, but they must obey the authority. Vedas are the authority, but authority, Ved itself is the authority, whether it's Karmakanda or Jnanakanda. And no one is having any authority over the Vedas. There is no person, there is no spiritual ideal above the Upanishad or Vedas. Everyone will have to take it granted that Upanishads. All the philosophers of India who are orthodox have to acknowledge the authority of the Vedanta. And all our present-day religions, however crude some of them may appear to be, however inexplicable some of their purpose may seem, one who understands them and studies them can trace them back to the ideas of the Upanishads. So deeply have these Upanishads sunk into our race that those of you who study the symbology of the crudest religion of the Hindus will be astonished to find sometimes figurative expressions of the Upanishads. The Upanishads become symbolized after a time into a figure and so forth. So it is all the different ways the Hindus, they worship, that they follow the path of these Upanishadic ideas. So this is the important thing to understand, the Vedas having two divisions. Though it is karmakanda, though it is rituals, though it is not the ultimate joy, ultimate bliss, renouncing everything. No, I want to enjoy life. I want to be a king. So you do perform these yajnas, sacrifice the fire. They are all leading the individual soul wherever they are. A person may be very advanced soul, he may detach from the world. That's okay, his path is something. He may take a higher path. But for me, what shall I do? I love to eat. I love to see. I love to enjoy life. And you are saying all be renounced. No, I will not renounce. I will enjoy. So, okay, enjoy in a righteous way. Gradually purify your heart. You will find the joy and go greater and greater. You understand that that is not enough, because your character is also being transformed every day by this following this path of Vedas. So this is the greatness, and that's why end result is that one experience that Ramakrishna in the modern age gives the validity. He validates these experiences. In the Upanishad, Sheta Upanishad, we find that the Rishi is saying that when, the verse, let me chant it, though. Nihara dhumo arka anala anilanam khadyota vidduta spatika shashinam etani rupani purasharani brahmani abhivyakta karani yoge. He's saying you are following the path of the Upanishads. You are following the path of spirituality. When will you know that you are approaching closeness to that Ananda? You are reaching almost, you have traveled your distance and you have reached the goal almost. How do you understand that? He said that when in your meditation You sit for your meditation and you just see that vision around. What are those? Nihara, like snow. You are meditating and you find that every round is like snowflakes falling all around, no? The light and beauty of that. Not the physical, but that will be the experience. It will expand the dimension of the feeling. Nihara, dhuma, sometimes smoke, light smoke. Sometimes anala. Anala is the light or sun. Anilanam, cool breeze. Khaddota. Anil means fire. Light and then fire. Sometimes you see khaddota. It's a beautiful experience. Those who have, they can understand. Then meditating and your mind soars in such a level, you see that everywhere, like a deep dark ground in the night time, you see the fireflies. Light and darkness, light and darkness. It's filled all around. In your mystic vision, you are having these experiences. Then lightning, like vidyut, thunderbolt, lightning. That type of light. Crystal, everywhere, crystal white. Like moon, moon's rays of beauty and joy. Those when they precede in one's meditation, you know that you are approaching closer to the ultimate realization of Brahman. Rabindranath Tagore, modern day, says he experienced in his own meditation and wrote a beautiful poem. And he says, Ananda dhara bahiche bhuvane. In this whole universe he is feeling only a stream of Ananda, bliss, is just flowing everywhere. Day and night, the sun and the moon, everything is pulsating with that Ananda. I am not singing that song, but that's a beautiful expression. That means it is an experience. It is no more the theory. Even a poet like Rabindranath, he could experience that. Upanishad declares, no? Shrinnantu vishve amritasya putra, ye eternal, ye all children of divinity. I have realized the truth. Listen to me, who lives in this earth planet or in the heaven. I have known that truth. And Mahantang Purusham, I have understand, which is Aditya, which is of the form of light and illumination, which is beyond all darkness and ignorance. And only knowing that, you can conquer Oti Mrittum, you can conquer death. Conquer your death by knowing this reality. That is the message of the Upanishad. So, and also Upanishad suggests, De vidde veditabbe, two types of vidya. Vidya means knowledge. We have to acquire. Because we live in the world, so one is the opera, material science, knowing this through our sense perception, not ignoring the life, not ignoring its joys and funs, but that vidya is to be known, and also to know the para, de vidde veditabbe, para cha eva opera. It has not been rejected by the Vedas. Very vital that one should have secular knowledge, secular way of earning money and trying to find that eternal joy through it, but with the values in life which Vedas has given us, following that path of restraint, self-control, purity of the heart, prayer and all oblation, chanting the Vedic hymns. In early days, India was replete. Everywhere, every home, there is fire, this sacrificial fire going on. And you cannot stop that fire. A continuous fire. I know of one of our sadhu, their ancestral home. They are having, about last 1,000 years, their fire is continuing, that fire. So it has been a great austerity to maintain them. So get engaged into that and purify your heart gradually, and you reach the ultimate point to reach that Ananda. So let us pray for this and to read Vedas more of the Upanishads, because that is the Vedanta, culmination of all the Vedic wisdom, to reach that point, to guide us, to reach that Ananda, absolute joy. And meditate on this joy. Every day meditate on this joy. Read the Upanishads. Take one verse and just dive deep into the meaning of it. And swim in that bliss, ocean of bliss, which is there. And this has been discovered by the ancient sages, we call the rishis. And that can be, you may be a rishi tomorrow. I may be a rishi tomorrow. Because it is exclusively for all, it is not excluded for some people. But it is everyone. It is our heritage. It is the very foundation of our life. We are all inheritor of this infinite wisdom, Ananda, which the Vedas indicate and the Upanishads proclaim. So I pray that this book we are saying, because in the book form, but it is not, it is called Shruti. It has come down from the teacher of experience. He spoke, and that was heard by his students. This similar, same way as he has heard, still we are chanting the same way. That's why if you have to learn Vedic chanting. If you make a mistake, then you have to learn again and again and again. It takes long years. I once asked the Malibu temple priest, and he knows one Vedas, I forgot who is Rig Veda or Yajur Veda, I forgot that. He said that, I said, he can chant all through, page to page. It's a huge volume. I said, how many years it took for you? It took for 10 years for his life, day and night, chanting that Vedic mantras and memorizing and making a part. Then I said, do you know the meaning? Well, no, that will take another 10, 20 years. So, but we have no time to 10, 20 years to read that Vedic chanting and this and that and end. No. We can chant the Upanishads, the cream of that, which the Karma Kanda, performance of the Karma Kanda was not necessary for us, but we can utilize those values into our life and ultimately lead to that Jnana Kanda. End of Jnana Kanda is the Upanishad, to meditation of the Upanishad, to reach us our eternal abode, which is Ananda. Thank you all. Thank you everyone here.
My mind led me to you, and now my eyes do see your face, and this heart's filled with your love by your ever precious grace, and you are love beyond compare. Each place I am, I find you there. Please keep me ever close to you in your heart of love. Om Satchitananda. Om Satchitananda. From winter is born the spring, giving life to all unseen. Summer's sun bakes the bread for autumn's harvest. Your wind moves every breath, your water quenches thirst. Your earth gives our feet a place for your dance of love. Om Satchitananda. Om Satchitananda. So many tunes and words you bring, so many songs for me to sing, and in this heart your joy does ring with such happiness. my mind. I lay all actions at your feet, and may my words be one with you in your song of love. Om Sachidananda. Om Sachidananda. Oh yes, my mind led me to you, and now my eyes do see your face, and this heart's filled with your love by your ever precious grace, and you are love beyond compare. Each place I am, I find you there. Please keep me ever close to you in your heart of love. Om Sachidananda. Om Sachidananda. Om Sachidananda. Om Sachidananda. Om Sachidananda. Om Sachidananda. Om.
Next Sunday, again, I'll be speaking here. Topic will be motherhood. What do you mean? Holy Mother's birthday is coming, as also Christ. So, though man and woman, but the heart is the same. The motherliness, the softness, the kindness. We'll talk about that next Sunday. And other things are, other classes will be as usual. 4th, there will be memorial service for our Prabrajika Bhavaprana at 11 o'clock. So I end here with Om Shanti, Shanti, Shantihi, Harihi Om Tat Sat, Sri Ram Krishna Arpanamastu. And now I will be greeting you, and at the end we can have some question answer session for a few minutes. If you are, I will be back here again after greeting you. And thank you all who are online. We don't see you in person, but it's good to see you online. But some are maybe not visible, that also. Okay, thank you. Jai Ma.
You want to take that thing? Oh, I can get that if you take this.
Oh, you're not gonna just leave it on there?
I don't know, does he need it on?
Yeah, he does.
Where is this stuff?
Swami stuff already?
He's coming back for Q&A though.
Yeah, but he doesn't want to do that. How are you? Pretty good.
Why did you change it to the other side? Why did you put it on the other side?
Because this is sitting here the whole time and he wouldn't find it.
The one on the right side of the small.
So this is for question answer. If we have anything, not to be centered only on this topic, it may be anything in our spiritual life.
We have a question from online to start with. Manish Chakrabarti says, you mentioned that one can think deeply about verses from the Upanishad as a part of our daily meditation. Can you please elaborate on this? Should this be done as a part of daily practice?
Oh, okay, Manish, I see you here. Namaskar. No, I'm not saying one mantra. Upanishads are the mine of all the experiences. There are beautiful verses which we can really meditate upon. Those we can find from the Isha Upanishad, we can find in the Katha Upanishad. We are talking about Sheta Upanishad, as we said. And sometimes you see the Nihara, the flakes of ice flakes, and the fire and the light and the thunderbolt and all these expressions. Then the Upanishad is Sheta Upanishad. It is not the only one Upanishad, there are many Upanishads. It is to be studied first, and what will be more attractive, individual heart can resonate with one verse more than the other. But these are the meditation on the Upanishads are very good practice. Isha Upanishad is there, very small, 18 verses. One can meditate on any verse. Meditating means what? Suppose one verse, I just give you an example. The Ishavasya Upanishad, first verse says, Ishavashyam midaggam sarvai cha jagatyam jagata tena tyaktena vinjita magritha kasya siddhanam. This is a beautiful verse, the first verse of the Isha Upanishad. So what does it mean? Just we read this and then you have to understand what the sage is teaching us, what he experienced. Isha Vashyam, you cover the whole universe. You see the whole universe as matter. Is a gross thing. It has its birth, it has its death, it has its and growth, birth, growth, death. Birth, growth, death. That is called what we see the world. But the Upanishad is teaching us, you cover the entire universe, which you see as impermanent and thing. You see as Isha. Isha means Paramatman. That supreme reality, supreme consciousness. Feel that it is saturated with supreme consciousness, supreme bliss. Think that it is like an infinite ocean, and the ocean is nothing but water. Similarly, here is nothing but Ananda, bliss, or consciousness, light. And how can I understand? I have no idea about what is consciousness. But you have to imagine, a consciousness gives reality to inert object, no? A bird is bird. Is consciously is flying, then you say it's a bird flying. Consciousness is here, is manifesting to my speech. So try to penetrate deeper the body-mind. That's why little Vedantic experience is necessary to, we go to read the Shankara's commentary to understand what this verse means. And then we just sit and meditate, Isha Vashyam. You say this and think that this entire universe, as much as your thought goes, we see that matter. The ground, we see the rocks, we see the trees, we plants, ocean. But no. It is only the name and form. It's essentially, it is Isha, the Paramatma, the supreme reality, Satchidananda, consciousness. And cover the entire universe with this thought. You spend half an hour, let your mind run wherever it goes, and you try to find that it is not matter. It is all consciousness, Satchidananda. Isha, the Paramatma. Paramatma is existing everywhere. And then your thought will come, that this world will come, someone's space will come. Muktena Tyaktena Bhunjita. You enjoy the entire world. Not get limited, stuck by the name and form. Whose face is coming? See their God, see their Paramatma. It is Paramatma appearing in that form. And enjoy the world. Your enjoyment will be so great. We want to enjoy the little things of the objects of the world with our senses. And you enjoy the whole world, whatever comes. You see, it is that Satchidananda. It is that Satchidananda. I am that Satchidananda. Everything is permitted, whatever comes. Renounce the so-called name and form and get absorbed by which it is constituted. It is constituted as the water ocean, all the waves are constituted by H2O. Similarly, the entire cosmos is constituted with Isha, that Paramatma, that Supreme Self, that Supreme Consciousness. Think. It will be first very not interesting. What type of thought is that? That's why we have to study the Vedanta, the philosophy, all this they talk about, impermanent, permanent, this, that, and get a basic ground of that universe, about me, and then transcend that to go to that cosmic level. So the Upanishads are really, we can find this type of experience. There many verses are given. Ajay, suppose Katha Upanishad says, it says that ekang agni jathaikang bhuvanang pravishya rupam pratirupa bahischa ekastatha sarvabhutantaratma on bahischa also. I am forgetting the last part. So, Agni, like that of fire. Giving an example. You meditate this way. Agni yatha ekam, one fire, entering into many objects. Suppose you put some in a salt, sodium chloride, you put the fire. It takes, its color becomes different. Flame color becomes different. And you put a firewood, its color is different. With the type of contact of the object, the same fire takes its different color. Agni yatha ekam. Agni is only eka, only one. Bhuvanang pravishya, entering into the universe or coming in contact with the objects. Pratirupa bahuva, it takes the form of that object. Similarly, ekastatha, that one, that similarly the eka, only one. Sarvabhutantaratma, who is residing in the heart of all of us, that consciousness, that Satchidananda. Ekastatha sarvabhutantaratma, rupam pratirupa bahischa. What I see outside in rupa, in every form, it is pratirupa, in every form, the same Atman trying to manifest. So, just sit on this verse, meditate on this verse. So these are I am giving just one or two examples. It's from the Katha Upanishad I gave you. I can give you one example from Kena Upanishad. Kene shitang preshitang patati manaha. Student is asking the teacher, desired by whom? Kena, by whom? Ishitam, desired by. Kene shitang preshitang, pushed by whom? Guided by whom? Preshitang patati manaha. My mind gets attached to the world, it falls into the object. Kena prana prathama praiti yukta. Who is behind my prana, the vital energy? The body, I am alive. Who is behind my prana, the vital energy? Chakshu shrutram kau devo junakti. I am seeing through the eyes. Who is behind my eyes, guiding me, forcing me to see the object? Perception is given. Shrotram, what I am hearing through the ear. Who is that in me, that consciousness? What is that? That's the first question, no? See, just you spend some time. Just sit. Kene shitang pre. My mind, see, my mind is going to this person, this place, this spot. Keno, who is guiding me? Who is forcing my mind to go? I am breathing. What is that force behind me? Just, this is a very eternal question. It makes you philosophic. You become a philosopher. And it is an eternal question, not belonging to any reason. It is Hinduism. Hinduism is a wrong name. There is no Hinduism. Hinduism, it is called eternal religion. It is everyone's property. Hinduism has been bad name given by the Persians. They could not pronounce the word Sindh, so they called Hind. And the Hindu, those lived in that area, is called Hindus. And their religion is called Hindu religion. It is not Christianity, that there is a dogma, there is doctrine. It is not Islam, that there is one doctrine, one dogma, one person. No. It is all different approaches of the truth. But you can approach and reach the truth. And it is your religion, it is everyone's religion. That's why it's called eternal religion. Sanatana Dharma. That's why it is called. Anyhow, I've given some idea. Namaskar. Anyone? Wait, the microphone is coming.
So, I keep wondering about, today you mentioned in your lecture there is 3 stages of our life, and beyond those 3 stages there is a eternal blissful stage. If I take that as an example and then I bring it to today's world and see I'm working in a company, there is a CEO, then there is our country's president, then there is a president, and there is a person who is homeless. If I want to not separate or segregate and see everybody equal, would that be form transformation of me knowing everybody Brahman? Is that the same level of feelings when you go beyond those 3 stages where continuously joy?
Okay. Okay. So long we are in the world, we will have to see this distinction. But we are talking of a level, so long I am a body, I see you as a body. So long I am in the mind, I live in a mental plane. When you are meditating, you are in a mental plane, intellectual plane. And then is a transcendental plane. So these are different levels. As the mind becomes purifies, it can move into inner direction like that. So when we are talking about this, it is a very high level. All this collapse. When you go to sleep, where is your president, where is your CEO, where is your homeless? Where is your rich, where is your poor? You are sleeping. Sleeping means you don't die. Your mind is just get into sleep. And mind getting into sleep, this whole world of your pain or sympathy or anger or frustration or joy, everything collapses. See, every day it is happening in our life. All our anxieties, all our worries, all our good feeling or our bad feeling, where does it go? In deep sleep? Every day, every night. That means there is a state, we can go there. But there is no such thing like that. But I cannot think it from staying here. Yes, there are distinctions. Good, bad, everything is there. So which level you are talking about? When you go to that level, your everyday experience, yes, last night's experience, when you are in the bed, for you this world is gone. There is no good, no bad, no pain, no suffering. No one is honest, no one is dishonest. Sun, moon, stars, nothing was there in your awareness. Do you deny anyone? Say yes or no? No. So that's the point. That means by meditation we can also raise our consciousness in such a level where this duality will collapse. Then you will find there is an experience. There is an experience of peace when you go to sleep. But a yogi, by practice, by Vedanta student, by practicing everyday spirituality, what will happen? A vista will open up and you will find that it is permeated with one consciousness. And when they live in the life, they live in that plane. They view everything from that plane. Ramakrishna, this is mother everywhere. Prostitute to the temple. In the temple is the mother Kali, the same mother in the prostitute. I cannot say that. You should not say that. We are not in that plane. We live in the level of duality. But he being in the body, he lives in that flight where this all distinction is collapsed. So we should not mix up these levels of perception. In our level, yes, there is bad, we should have to fight against that. Yes, there is good, we will have to cultivate that. I'll have to be honest, I'll have to be sincere, I'll have to serve, I'll have to improve my character. All these are necessary. But when one can raise himself to that level, sleep level gross example where I can connect, that level can be reached by meditation. Withdrawing the mind, seeing, as I said, I just talked about the practical guidance of the meditation, no? That type of meditation, where is two there? All these examples I am giving, who is behind my speech, who is behind my eyes, who is behind my prana, who is behind my... Go back. Where is that? That is only one. And Isha, Vashyam, everything is permeated by one. Every day one meditates on that. Mind shoots up into purer level and it sees that everything is only mother. The slayer and the slain, the killer and the killed, the lover and the beloved, the enemy and the person who is the enemy of that person. All are one in that level. There are only two waves in the ocean of consciousness. All the waves are fighting. Go to the Pacific beach, then you go and check how many waves are rising in the same ocean. And they are not fighting with each other. Someone is falling upon someone, someone is embracing with someone is dashing with each other. This is going on. But are they not H2O? That they're not the Pacific Ocean? That awareness will come. So when that comes, for that person, everything is same, everything is one. But for us, we live in our consciousness. We should have to work where we are and improve our awareness.
Swami, could you speak a little bit about where creativity, like art and music and that kind of thing, that a person feels sort of comes from a different place rather than their brain? How does that fit into this?
Oh, and that's also creativity. I think it comes because in us is the infinite energy, infinite source of all. Everything is in us. Brahman is the sum total of all our experiences, emotions, perceptions, and one develops one side. It's the music. Another world, he goes into the music world. There are levels, no? Mind, as the mind floats up in its horizon, Ramakrishna used to see so many planes of gods and goddesses. Similarly, there is a music world. Those who day and night think on music and sing, their mind does not live in the material plane, in the music world. Gandharva Loka. There is a plane in Hinduism, they dedicate it to Gandharvas. Gandharvas means musical performers, singers and dancers. That means artistic, creative people. In their mental plane, they live in that. Actually, the whole world is mind. We have to understand, bring this Vedanta ultimately. This world is nothing but mind. With a mindset, I love someone. With another mindset, I hate someone. The same mind. It is a mind, I say it is how wonderful. My mind is disturbed, then I say, oh, what a nonsense. No? It is all mind, the play of the mind. Like in every night dream, look at that, dream experience is good. In the dream, whatever you see, don't blame anyone. Last night you have been tortured by somebody, if you saw such a dream. It is your mental creation. Who created that? Anybody went to create your dream? Or you came to create my dream? No. There is no other agency but your own mind. So if our mind can create such things which is not real, which is a mixture of our past impressions, collecting from here something, collecting from there something, and we see that we feel that that is my thought, that is the world in which we live. So it is the mind creates the whole universe. That's why mind is Maya. In Vedanta, it is said mind is equal to Maya. If we can transcend the mind, then Maya transcending. And if we are in the level of Maya, infinite number of planes and stages of experiences are there. And then actually they live in that plane of music, the Suraloka. In the plane where these notes and tunes are practiced continuously and they live in that. Actually the musicians, great musicians, they 15, 16 hours they do spend their time in music practice, no? And in that intense practice where his mind will remain. His mind will mostly remain in that musical plane. And music is a good source for helping individual to reach the higher level easily, because it is already lifted from the mundane world. The musicians, when they get absorbed in their own music, they forget the world, they forget their body, forget their family. They swim in the musical realm of God. The mind is just absorbed in that level.
Well, what about painting?
Painting is same. That's a creativity. Yeah. And that comes from the inner potentiality. Soul is potentially divine, and divine has many aspects of expression. There is an expression of what is inside. And all together, look at the whole world. Is it not a painting of God? Look at the sky. Look at the stars. Are not the painting of God? That part, most of our painters, what we create. What we see in the nature, somewhere sticks in my mind here and there. And when someone creates, all this jumbled up, something comes out that we call the creativity. That comes from God, which is within. So all creativity, yes, painting, dancing, singing, even literature, art, literature, everything falls in another level of expression of the truth.
We also have a question on YouTube. Virginia asked, how to remain cheerful while getting to that higher plane of consciousness?
That's the we have to think of that cheerfulness, think of that ananda. We think of other things which forces us. Of course, we cannot deny life's crisis situation forces us to think of other things. But as a spiritual student, we'll have to think, this is true so long I am in the body level. This is true so long I am in the level of my mind. But I have another level. I can stay there also. You can live in your ground floor, you can live in your second floor, you can go in your third floor. You can live in the roof, loft. So which level? It is happening in this plane. In that plane there is nothing. So we'll have to think of that plane where there is pure joy. Being in the world, living in the world, and to see that pure joy everywhere at the back of everyone. If the bad person, back of that is the same pure love. Only expression is bad. Some people say, he is very rustic, but he has a good heart. He doesn't mean, but he says little rudely. So like that. So our mind expresses different way, but at the back of the mind is that same reality. So we'll have to practice that spiritual discipline and to think that everywhere is my beloved Lord, or in Vedantic way, everywhere is that Satchidananda Brahman, Atman is me, myself, but the expression is different. We are fighting with the expressions. Your expression versus my expression. And another way, guna, guneshu vartante. The three gunas, sattvika, rajasika, tamasika, are interplaying with the gunas. And so the whole world is interaction of the gunas, fighting with the gunas. So we be guna atita, go beyond gunas. Then it will, how to go beyond guna atita? Go to Guru, learn your meditation, practice, meditate, and try to find who are you, Vedantic way, whatever way, and find out the truth. So that's called the sadhana, spiritual practice.
I think my understanding is that reality is always the same. Our experience of reality depends on where our mind is. But we experience different levels, sleeping, deep sleep, or the waking consciousness. But there's no choice of experiencing anything higher unless there's just a gift of grace that takes your mind there.
But true, but how to reach that? At least we should understand that it depends upon God. So we have to be prayerful. That's a bhakti path. One will have to work on that at least to understand. Do, oh Lord, help me. It is merely saying will not do. It should come from the heart. So there is the sadhana. Though we say it cannot be done, but we do. We can go to party, and we can go to the class. We can go for other social duties which is important. We can put more importance in this. So we have to do work on those areas, and ultimately God's grace. But if we say at the very beginning everything is God's grace, then people will not do anything. So that's the point. True.
Yeah, I remember there was some in Sri Ramakrishna's life. There was one of his relatives said that since it is all an illusion, I can do anything, and Sri Ramakrishna's response was, if that is your Vedanta, I spit on it.
Yeah. And not only that, there is a gross example. There was one, was committed some mistake or something. He was put to the court, and the judge was giving punishment. And he said that I am a Vedanta student, I am nobody, I am no mind, so I didn't do anything. But I am not punishing your Atma, I am punishing your body. That body did this thing, so that's why the punishment. So, Jai. Anyway, so thank you all. So see you again next month. Jai. Next week. Jai Ma. Thank you.